Hello, this is Opinions in the Mic, and these are my opinions. Now today, I'm going to be ranking the Marvel movies. So as you can see, I've sorted by release date, starting with Iron Man, and ending all the way to Deadpool and Wolverine, which is apparently a part of the Marvel Universe, even though Deadpool 1 and 2 aren't considered to be a part of the Marvel Universe, and neither's Logan, for that matter, or the early X-Men movies with Hugh Jackman. And what else? X-Men Days of Future Past and X-Men First Class. And all of them, no, they're not considered a part of the official MCU. Now, I don't have every single Marvel movie on this list. I've only seen 23 of them. I'll be ranking them in this letterboxd list I have compiled here. Now, let's start at the beginning. So I'll be sorting out the movies like this. Okay, starting off with Iron Man. Now, a lot of people really love Iron Man, the first Iron Man film. I personally think it's very overrated. Like, it's a good beginning, starting film for the Marvel universe, but for me personally, I think it's good for what it is, but it's not really my kind of movie. I like Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. I think he does a really good job. I think he's perfect casting for the kind of like arrogant douchebaggy character he plays, like the billionaire playboy character he plays. I think Robert Downey Jr. does a great job, and the side characters are good as well. But what's his name? And the villain, I've forgotten what the actor's name is. Jeff Bridges. Yep, he plays the antagonist. He did a good job acting wise, but the villain is just so standard. It's pretty much just a more overpowered version of what the main character is. So Iron Man, he's in a metallic suit, and the villain is also in a metallic suit. It's just the same thing. But what I do like about the first Iron Man movie, it's very simple and it's very concise. And I like the war sequences. I actually found Iron Man darker than a lot of the other MCU movies. It's more willing to be a bit more gritty. Whereas the new Marvel movies are very soft. They're much more tame by comparison. But because the Iron Man, I think it came out in the same year The Dark Knight did. And The Dark Knight is quite a grim movie. Not compared to most movies, but within the superhero genre, The Dark Knight is quite grim. So is Iron Man. But for now, I'll probably leave it at number 1 until I get further down on the list. I haven't got any real complaints about Iron Man other than it's just not really my kind of movie. You can already see in my rating, I give it a 3 stars out of 5. Now, The Incredible Hulk. I do not like The Incredible Hulk. It had probably one good action sequence in the middle of the movie, but the rest of it was just dull. Yeah, I really don't have much to say about The Incredible Hulk. And The Incredible Hulk, just like the first Iron Man, it's just pretty much like an overpowered version of the original character's abilities and attributes. I've forgotten what Armageddon or something? Is that what the villain's name is? I'll look it up after I've done the video. But I do not like The Incredible Hulk. Iron Man 2. I don't like Iron Man 2 either. It's not nearly as good as the first Iron Man movie. I remember watching Iron Man 2 a long time ago. I used to own a copy of it on my Sony Walkman, and it was just a very boring film. but I'll give Iron Man 2 credit. I mean, it's a well-made movie on a technical level, but the story is absolutely lacking. And yeah, the story was a lot of it I found to be very uneventful, and the ending was very, very disappointing. It was just a bunch of like self-destructing Iron Mans at the end of the day, and that wasn't. Yeah, and I forgot what's the actor's name who plays the antagonist? Ricky something. Yeah, I like him as an actor, but I did not like him as a villain in Iron Man 2. He pretty much had these electric whips, and I just did not find him very appealing as a villain. Now, Thor. Um, it is an improvement from Iron Man 2. I'd say a big improvement, even though I just gave it like a half-star higher rating. I'll start ranking pretty soon. But yeah, like Thor, it had its enjoyable moments. I liked the special effects of it quite a lot. I liked it. It was much more ambitious than the previous films, I thought. I liked the world of Asgard quite a lot. The place looks wonderful. The special effects have aged pretty well, I have to say. A lot of these Marvel movies, I think the special effects have aged pretty well. Yeah, I think I'm like pretty neutral on Thor. The other Thor movies are much, much better than the first Thor film, I have to say. I've only seen The Dark World and Ragnarok. I haven't actually watched the other one. Thor Love and Thunder. I refuse to watch that movie. It looks pretty terrible. Now, the first Avenger, I actually thought the first Avenger was actually not that bad. I actually thought it was better than Thor. I like Red Skull as a villain, and I like Captain America the most out of the Avengers as a character. I think he's got a lot of good personality traits, which I myself would like to have more of. But I think he's kind of like your plain Joe good guy. But I like his character quite a lot. Thor, Thor's probably like funniest. It's either Thor or Bruce Banner. Hulk who's the funniest. Whereas like Captain America, I don't know, he just seems like a wholesome character to me. Uh, but yeah, like the first Avenger, and I like how it connected to the Avengers as well. Like how the original, like first 5 movies were kind of just introducing these characters. Then as the movies keep going on, they kind of team up, and you have small scale antagonists throughout the series, but then Thanos is kind of like the main antagonist. He's the main big villain, which they hyped up for a while, till Avengers Endgame in 2019. Yeah, so it took 20 movies to hype up Thanos in one way or another. Or technically 19 for Infinity War. It takes place in Infinity War. And the Avengers, I think it's very, very overrated. It's just pretty much. I like how the superheroes from the first 5 movies team up together, as well as Hawkeye and what's her name, Black Widow, but they didn't have their own movies until later. I, but I like how they team up together to fight evil Loki, who's now pretty much sort of seen as like an anti-hero now. They've made a whole TV show out of him. But yeah, Loki was main antagonist, and they kind of slowly introduce Thanos, who becomes really the main villain. And I personally think ever since Endgame came out, I really don't see much purpose for Marvel unless they come with like another large-scale villain like Thanos. I just don't think there's much point. It's like a factory. But you know, they need to make money. Marvel and Disney need to make their money. They need to churn out as many of these superhero movies as possible. So they're just going to keep coming and coming and coming. Iron Man 3, not much to really say about Iron Man 3. I do not like Iron Man 3. It's maybe a little bit better than Iron Man 2, but yeah, and the marketing for the movie was so dishonest. Like, the Ben Kingsley villain was so much better than the villain we actually got. Like Guy Pearce playing as like a Human Torch. I mean, that's not interesting at all. It's totally boring. One thing I just realised, I actually ranked Iron Man 2 lower than Thor the Dark World and Incredible Hulk. I mean, sorry, higher. I meant to say higher. Yeah, Thor the Dark World, the black sheep. The black sheep of the MCU. Known to be the worst one, or one of the worst ones. And, yeah, I agree. The villain is totally forgettable. The sequence of events are boring. It's a very, very dull viewing experience. Yeah, I really, really didn't like The Dark World. I think it's a bit better than Iron Man 2, but not by like a huge margin. I might actually rewatch Thor the Dark World. Kind of curious to see what the viewing experience will be like watching it again. I probably won't watch it entirely, but I'll watch bits and pieces. Now let's ranking what we've got so far. Iron Man. Probably Thor above Iron Man. Yeah, it's not. The first Avenger isn't quite as good as the first Iron Man. The Avengers, I don't think is. Yeah, I think the Avengers is a bit better than Thor actually. Iron Man 2 at the bottom. Iron Man 3. Yep. Thor the Dark World. Yeah, I actually think the Incredible Hulk is worse than Thor the Dark World, I have to say. Yep. Now, Winter Soldier. Very, very popular. One of the better ones, in my opinion. I think in most people's opinion. Like, a lot of people really love the Winter Soldier. I like the Winter Soldier. I like how the stakes just keep. I love the stakes in the Winter Soldier. How the villains in the first Captain America film, what are they called? The Red Skull faction. I might be right. Oh, they had a name. Red Skull. Oh man, it's like, yeah, it's like Red Skull. They've infiltrated Shield. The faction Red Skull is a part of is infiltrated Shield, who's in charge of the Avengers. And it's up to Captain America to solve this issue. And I love that. I think that's such a cool twist and plot. But it is a bit weird how Captain America is the one to solve this problem, and none of the Avengers have any idea. That is a bit weird, but you do have to suspend your disbelief with a lot of these Marvel movies, especially like if you have like an actual hate movement which has infiltrated your military organization, and all the Avengers are somehow unaware of this except for Captain America for some reason. I mean, that's just weird. It does not make any sense at all. But it makes for an interesting movie. And yeah, the movie is very entertaining. Now, I would rank Winter Soldier definitely above the first Iron Man. It's definitely a better movie. So much more captivating and entertaining. And the story goes in interesting directions. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy, not a big fan of this. I don't enjoy the humor. I like how they introduce like a whole new selection of characters, like a new group of characters you get to know and love. I don't really like them, but um, yeah, I just found the movie just to be very cliched. It's kind of like just all the other Marvel movies, but with new group of characters. And just, I know a lot of people may disagree, but I just don't like the use of the licensed music. I felt a bit too gimmicky. Like, I don't mind when movies use licensed music sort of in the background or for like atmosphere, but this, like Guardians of the Galaxy was using like classical music from the 80s and 70s as sort of like a part of its identity, which I didn't like. Um, and I did not like the villain, and the humor was total cringe. It made me squirm in my seat, even when I was younger watching it in the theaters. Um, Now, Guardians of the Galaxy, it's better than Iron Man 3, but I don't think I like it as much as Thor. Yeah, it's definitely better than Iron Man 3. Avengers Age of Ultron was lame. The worst of the Avengers movies. Ultron was a useless villain. He was not scary in any way. It's a complete waste of time. I don't think they should have ever made this movie. It it was a waste of effort. Like all I can really think of, despite how much it cost to make, and how much effort it took to actually make this movie, I just think it was a waste. I just don't think they had to exist. And Ultron, this should this should really have been Iron Man 3. Ultron should have been the villain of Iron Man 3. It just makes much more sense. It's not really a threat the Avengers should take on. I think many people may agree with me here. Now, Age of Ultron is better than Dark World, but it's worse than Iron Man 3. I have to say. Ant-Man was lame. I know I'm pretty much bashing a lot of these movies now, but Ant-Man, I don't like it. It's just cringe Marvel humor. Didn't like the villain. Don't really like the actor who plays Ant-Man. I'm sorry. Uh, it, uh, just don't know what to say about Ant-Man. It's been so long since I've watched it. I haven't got a whole lot of positive things to say about it. If I were to rank it, it's better than. I don't know if I would even say it's better than Age of Ultron. Man, I have to think about this one for a minute. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's not as good as Ultron. Not that Age of Ultron's good. Uh, Now, where are we? Civil War. Okay, one of the better ones. I actually like Civil War more than The Winter Soldier. I really, really enjoyed Civil War. I like how the Avengers kind of take teams. And I remember at the time people were making like comparisons to Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. I remember during the 2016 election. It was very kind of interesting. Um, but yeah, really, really liked Civil War. I like how the stakes were high, and I liked how there was a movie where the Avengers were infighting. I thought that was awesome. And the fight was actually really, really fun to watch. I loved how high the stakes were. Yeah, the Captain America movies were going so strong. Like the Captain America movies were better than the Avengers movies. And Civil War actually had more stakes than Avengers: Age of Ultron. Why couldn't once again with in regards to Iron Man 3 and Age of Ultron, Ultron should have been the villain in Iron Man 3. That would have made for a better movie. As with Civil War should have been an Avengers movie. Captain America, he's just a part of the Avengers, and the Avengers were fighting. So calling it Captain America is just pointless. And well, you know what? As a matter of fact, the Winter Soldier should have been an Avengers movie as well. Because if uh, Red Skull's faction or team infiltrated Shield, who are in charge of the Avengers, that is Avengers level threat. But for some reason, it was only up to Captain America to sort out that scenario. So, like, I mean, whatever. I've already made my point. Now, in regards to ranking, Civil War is better than the Winter Soldier. So yeah, the Captain America movies are going strong. Here you go. Now, Ant-Man, I've already ranked that one. Iron Man 2, Doctor Strange. Yeah, Doctor Strange. I don't like the movie, but it has really, really good visual effects. I might watch this movie again, just because of the visual effects alone. And Mads Mikkelsen as a villain. I love Mads Mikkelsen as an actor, but I mean, I guess he's technically good casting as a villain, but don't disrespect my boy. Mads Mikkelsen putting him in an MCU movie. So I would rank Doctor Strange above Ant-Man. I do think Doctor Strange is a bit better. I'll probably rank it above Ultron as well. Maybe Iron Man 3. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I like Doctor Strange more than Iron Man 3. Guardians of the Galaxy is a bit better though. Now, Spider-Man Homecoming. I sort of enjoyed Spider-Man Homecoming. Like it had like a very wholesome vibe to it, which I liked. And yeah, like I don't really remember a whole lot from the movie. It was like it's enjoyable, but it's enjoyable sort of while you're watching it, but there's not a whole lot of rewatch value from the movie. I mean, the movie just feels empty. It's enjoyable, but it just feels empty. But if I was to rank Homecoming, it's definitely better than Age of Ultron. It's actually a fair bit better than a lot of the Marvel movies, come to think of it, when I'm looking at it. Yeah, I would say I liked Homecoming more than the Avengers, actually. But it's not as good as the first Avenger. Thor Ragnarok, one of the better Marvel movies for sure. Really entertaining. It doesn't take itself as seriously as Thor the Dark World. I think it took criticisms of the Thor the Dark World, and they just made a really enjoyable, entertaining movie. I actually really, really like Thor Ragnarok. There's a reason people hold Thor Ragnarok in such high regard. Like, it's entertaining. The humour's actually quite funny. Thor Ragnarok actually nailed the humour. Guardians of the Galaxy was painfully cringe, whereas Thor Ragnarok was actually funny. It actually had a really good time with Thor the Dark World. What am I talking about? Thor Ragnarok. I love that rock character. Oh, he's played by the New Zealand actor. Taika Waititi. Yeah, I love the rock guy. He's hilarious. Yeah, it's such an entertaining movie, and I love the settings and the sequence of events are so enjoyable to watch. Thor Ragnarok is better than Iron Man. I think. Okay, that's a hard one. I think I'm just gonna have to be honest with myself. I think I like Ragnarok more than the Winter Soldier. I think that's a pretty fair ranking. Yeah, I think that's fair. Thor Ragnarok is just a more entertaining movie. Like, the Winter Soldier probably has higher stakes. It's probably a little bit better written, but Thor Ragnarok, it's just so much fun, you know? It's one of those movies I could just put it on and have a good time. Black Panther, lame. I hate how overrated Black Panther is. It, it's such a boring movie, and 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 I remember the political discourse at the time when Black Panther came out, and people were calling each other racist for not liking the movie. Get out of here! Get out of here! I did not enjoy Black Panther at all. It was a slog to get through. It was very very long, and the fight at the end was lame. But to give the movie credit, the music was really really good. The movie had a really really good soundtrack, I have to say. But most of the movie was a total drag. So if I were to rank Black Panther, hmm, it's better than The Dark World. I know I might be contradicting myself with my ratings because I have ranked Black Panther worse than Ant-Man. I actually think, man, it might be a bit too harsh with Black Panther because sometimes when I'm dragging the movie up, hmm, it's not as good as, hmm, you know what? I would actually rank Black Panther above Age of Ultron. Come to think of it, I might actually change my rating to a 2 out of 5 stars for Black Panther actually. Come to think of it, I would much rather rewatch Black Panther than watch Age of Ultron again. It might even be better than Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 I don't want to rewatch ever. You know what? I'm ranking Black Panther above Iron Man 3. There we go. Now, Infinity War is my favourite of the MCU. What a damn good movie. It is pretty much the only like 5 MCU movies I'll probably consider good. I thought Infinity War takes all the good aspects of the MCU and pretty much concentrate. It's like all the good aspects of the MCU, but it's all concentrated. Because this movie takes itself quite seriously. Like it's a bit silly at times. Like so they might say like some sort of silly childish joke every now and again. But the stakes were very very real. And I love Thanos as a villain. I think he's a very good villain, and I think he's very well written. I think his motives are kind of quite well. I mean, they're obviously very flawed morally. I mean, he is the antagonist, um, and it's not very. I just like as wise as Thanos can be at times. I just think his goal of wiping out half the universe just to maintain the population, universe's population for longer, just seems really short-sighted. Um, I mean, once it's not like Thanos is going to be living forever anyway. And even once if, like all Thanos is really doing is delaying the inevitable. Um, because even if half the universe's population were to disappear, the population will still keep growing, even if it takes billions of years. So all he's doing is